All right, let's see what's going on here. Hopefully, I'm definitely clocked in. Hopefully, you guys should be able to hear me. I don't think you should have an issue, but you never know. Hey, what's going on, party people? Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. It's definitely a great pleasure to have you guys here. I go by the name of Lespri. I am a spiritual healer. And as a spiritual healer, if this is your first time seeing me here, what I do pretty much is that I help people to attain their highest level of consciousness. And what that means pretty much is I help you to become Christ like, right? And then we're talking about being Krishna like, to become the enlightened one. All that is referring to pretty much is you attaining your highest level of consciousness. So when you see, let's just say Jesus Christ, or we're talking about Buddha, Krishna, those are a representation of what it's like to attain that highest level of consciousness. And what you're seeing, if you know anything, let's just say about Jesus or anyone else, it's pretty much you're able to see their path, what they actually had to go through, and their trials and tribulation. Now, for you to apply and understand and have and be relatable to that, so you can attain your highest level of consciousness too. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it means by them, or Jesus dying for you. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean, I mean, you're gonna have to put in your own work, but the whole aspect of him dying for you is to be that example. It's to provide you with that reflection of what you have to become. So therefore, he did it for you, so you could do it too, nigga. Like shit. Like the example. I mean, it's not like. I mean, hopefully, it's not like. I mean, you're still gonna have to put the work in, but you have. What's the word that I'm looking for? I like you kind of have the guidelines of what to expect in the whole journey in itself, and that's pretty much what that represents. And later on, I'll be talking about why you have to look at it this way, but most importantly, why you have to understand. I mean, you have to care about the nature of the information that you're getting. I mean, you have the information is that itself, but then you have to worry about the nature. But we'll talk about that later. But going back to, I guess, to me introducing myself as a spiritual healer, that's pretty much what I do. Now, the way that I get to it, I mean, I'm able to help you to attain your highest level of consciousness, is through you now being in alignment with your emotions and your intellect. Meaning, you would have to also become mentally and emotionally balanced. Because only then, can you pretty much put yourself in a situation for you to attain the highest level of consciousness. Because let's just say, hypothetically, if you are depressed or you're not emotionally balanced, well, you're not going to think a certain way. Like you go see a shrink. I'll give you a perfect example, right? And that's what in the occult we call like doing your shadow work. The shadow work, it's you going into your shadow, meaning you getting into the invisible aspect of yourself, and to identify certain emotions that triggered you or that made you think a certain way or made you act a certain way. So indirectly, what this is telling you is that there's a direct relationship between your emotions and your intellect. You know what I'm saying? If you're feeling bad, you're not gonna come up with your best ideas ever. In fact, that's why some people would recommend you sit somewhere, you stay quiet, you know what I'm saying, that whole process, it's you being in alignment with your emotions, and then in the middle of nowhere you have that aha moment. So, but anyway, to say this another way is, if you're depressed, you're not going to come up with the best ideas. It's not going to happen. And the fact that if you would hear some people tell you have to relax, to lay down, this is showing you that at some point or somehow, some way, you have to allow your emotions and your mind got to come together. I mean, not necessarily the getting together part, but it's like it has to be in balance for you to attain your highest level of consciousness. Do you see what I'm saying? So they have to come together. And on the flip side of that, let's just say, and that's what I notice with most people, right? They want to be, mentally balanced, and or their interpretation of being mentally balanced is to suppress their emotions. And that is not true. That is not, that is just not, it's not it. Not it. No, 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 sir. The minute, in fact, people who are toxic, or what you're calling toxic, or who are being triggered, they are being triggered because their emotions are being suppressed. So to become or emotionally balanced, it's not to suppress your emotions. You can't. Because the spirit is. You just gonna be you regardless. It's like your soul, whoever you are, in you is going to express itself one way or another. That's why when you see someone who's being triggered, this is them expressing themselves. Not in the best way, but it is what it is. So your soul, who you are, your spirit, is going to say what it means. That's why we understand, as spiritual healers and psychic or mediums, we understand energy never lies. And you can never lie to nobody anyway. Then they may not see what you're saying. That's different. You could deceive other people, meaning you're trying to help them not to see who you truly are, but you can't lie. This is for my deceivers out there. That's why you're playing yourself. Not the ones who have the sight. So therefore, you're not even playing anybody really. It's just that the motherfuckers don't understand. They don't have the inner vision to see who you are. And for the most part, that's because they're looking at you from your physical perspective, from your behavior. So that's why shortly I'm going to be talking about what it's like to become emotionally balanced. And to be emotionally balanced, it's not fake, it's not deceiving others. It's not, let's just say, you want to say fuck, you're not going to say fuck. It's not, say to speak, not to be too loud. You know what I'm saying? That has nothing to do with that. You can be emotionally balanced and still let a nigga know. And the way you would know that, you just let a nigga know. It's not, it would be a kind of let you know type of thing. It's not going to be a back and forth. It's just, nigga, I'm going to let you know. And this is part of me expressing myself emotionally, and by being emotionally balanced. Not being triggered, but it's like there's a couple of misunderstanding. Let me put the dots on top of the I for you. Sometimes you just gotta let a nigga know. If you feel it's worth it. And if it's not worth it, you already know. That's when you just, all right, do your worst. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, going back to the whole being mentally balanced, or, it's not to suppress your emotions. And that's what you'll see. Most people who are, let's just say, toxic, these are the people who do not acknowledge their emotions. And when you don't acknowledge your emotions, meaning you would have to understand why you feel that way and really get the message out of that pain. Because a lot of us, when we go through pain, we don't get the true message out of it. You would have to discern it. It's like if you a kid, you're learning how to walk, you crawling, you crawling, and you fell, you don't want to get up because of the pain. Can you imagine how would you even walk again? So we all had to learn how to walk by failing. So your pain, actually, you got to learn how to transmute your pain to your benefit. And unfortunately, a lot of us not understanding that about, our emotions and not having the bigger picture, That's what you see now. People don't want to get hurt. I mean, I'm not saying you should go out there and looking to get hurt, but if it comes with where you need to go, or if it's part of your elevation, you gotta buckle up, baby. Hey, you gotta buckle up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're looking to grow some muscles, well, you're gonna have to hit the gym. Oh, you're gonna have to, yeah, you're gonna have to keep going. I mean, listen, man, you're gonna have to get on those squats, man. There's no way around it. And being emotionally balanced too has a lot to do with that. Addressing the pain and looking at the bigger picture. And that's what you're doing as a fucking adult. Let's just say if you go see a shrink and now you're sitting down with the shrink and the shrink is like, okay, so how was your upbringing? I mean, and again, when we talk about spirituality too, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. This is your regular life. Because your nature, in essence, your essence, is we are that thinking, living. We have that living mind. That's why, for you to change your mind, you want to change your life? Well, change your thinking. It doesn't go just because if you want to be involved in spirituality. Like, you could well say to yourself, fuck spirituality, fuck God, fuck all that shit. Well, guess what? Then you turn back to yourself. You want to change your life, you're going to have to change your thinking. But anyway, I want you to dwell on that for a second. Now, going back to, again, you would have to become mentally and emotionally balanced. It cannot be one over the other or one minus the other. And there's a misconception, especially when it comes to, let's just say, being mentally strong. There's always this kind of thing that's trying to let you know, I mean, you would have to master your emotions, but in a way of suppressing it, or it doesn't work. That is absolutely false. Well, I mean, if it works, it's always going to be a struggle for you. I'll tell you this right now. And it's going to be that constant fight that you're going to have to go through. Whereas when your emotions and your intellect comes together, it's harmony. I mean, it's not a fight, but it's just more of a, it's you flowing with it. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, you don't suppress your desires because you have bad desires. No, you don't do that. Because there's also great and good desires. So if you decide to suppress the desires altogether, I mean, what are you going to do with the good desires? Because your emotions are very valuable. A lot of your transformation, in fact, your true mind is your heart. Until you have this transformation here, or this emotion somehow changing or elevate, you're not going to change. Do you see how those two got to work together? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and we are also, us being a living mind, it's all emotional. We are emotional, intelligent beings. And that's the whole idea of ma'at, the yin and the yin, the masculine and the feminine, the visible with the invisible. I mean, it's the higher self with the lower self. I mean, it's just all of it. It has to come together. Now, when we talking about, or when I'm talking about being emotionally balanced, now going back to being emotionally balanced. So at first, I wanted you to see how important it is for those two to come together. And the minute or the second, you become a little more intellect, then you become very rigid because you don't have the emotions because your emotions, when you add emotions to your intellect, it expanded a little bit. It allows it to see, like, it's like logic always, you know what I'm saying, 1 plus 2. I mean, the emotion now allows you to pretty much acknowledge the small things. The things that are right in front of you, but you didn't quite see it. And a little bit of emotion goes a long way, baby. And that's what you saw when they brought the prostitute over to Jesus and asked him, "Do you want us to stone that bitch? What the fuck? What's up, nigga?" he said, "Well, you know what? A little bit of emotion, nigga. I'm not saying she's right, but if there's any of you to stone a bitch because she's using her pussy, when you're not even fucking right yourself, come on, man." That's the little bit of emotion in it to help you to reflect, to see the small things. You don't want to become Judge Dredd out here. You know what I'm saying? You're reading people's rights. You don't give a fuck. The law's the law. Now, motherfucker, relax. The law is there to serve you. The law cannot be above you. Never ever. Anyway, I mean, isn't that why we have the laws in the first place? To serve you. But anyway, I digress. That's a whole other conversation in itself. But I guess, I guess it just needed to be said. But anyway, now that we have handled that part, and also we talked about how not being emotionally balanced can influence your thinking, and another way too to also look at it, you know how sometimes you say, "Yo, dude, like, bro, like you were very emotional." So you're also implying that you didn't see it, you know what I'm saying, from a brother perspective, because your emotions has taken over you. In other words, you're like, I know for me, I would tell you, you have to learn how to become emotionally intelligent. But making a long story short, going back to the whole conversation, though you got to become in alignment. Those two have to come together. And the reason why I call this world a mental institution, and a lot of people are insane, that's because they're not in alignment. They're not fully healed. They're not complete. A lot of us, it's either we tend to be more on that side, the intellect side, or be on that side. And that's the conflict. And when you're looking at it from that perspective, that's what we call in the occult, you eating from the tree of good and evil. That's when now we say you living in a dualistic reality. But you don't look at it as a polarity, meaning not understanding that there are your emotions and your mental got to become one. In fact, the person that you are, which is the polarity, those are your different side. And that's why the masculine have to become with the feminine, or that's why good and bad, like it's all over us, that whole polarity shit. And that's what the Kabbalion teach you, which I strongly recommend, just so you understand so you have the mental understanding of the universe. And that mental understanding is now you could see polarity everywhere, because that's part of the universe. It's part of you, it's in you, it's all around you. And that's what made you created at God's image, because you are that reflection. You reflect nature, nature reflects you. In fact, when we're talking about metaphysics, that's what metaphysics is. It's the same principles that applies in physics, in nature, they also applies in your life. For instance, we all have to reap what we sow, nigga. Just like in nature, if you plant, let's just say some tomatoes, you're not going to get watermelon. You should try. Let me know. You know what I'm saying? Same. If you're not doing anything, for you to elevate your consciousness, then you already know you're doing the opposite. And part of being conscious, pretty much, or to attain your highest level of consciousness, it's you becoming that great farmer. Now you are aware of what you're planting. Now you are planting your own seeds. You are watering your garden. You know what I'm saying? Watch what you what you plant, soldier, because you may have to dig it later. And in fact, not even may have, you will have to dig it later. And that's what most people would say. We talk karma. Then you also realize there's a correspondence. There's a reflection of what we do. That is being reflected to us, one way or another, consciously or not. That's why you create your reality. But anyway, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. Going back to being emotionally balanced, what I mean by that, it's you to understand your emotions. Understand what emotions are, understand how your own emotional pattern works, and if you have any type of blockages, for you to acknowledge them and transmute them. That's what the shrink is helping you by. Well, motherfucker, like, did you suck a big dick while you were a kid? Like, who jumped you? Who motherfucking raped you at night? No matter what it is, and that reaction you had towards that thing, now you had created a whole new events or reality out of that experience. Let's just say if you were raped, or if you were bit, if you were bit by a dog, then now you create a reality where you avoiding, like, fuck dogs, dog. You understand what I'm saying? Like in Haiti, we have this saying. We do say, if a cat falls into, let's just say, a pot of hot water, the next time it sees water, he wouldn't want to come near it because it got burned. But not knowing, this is where you have to understand. Well, shit, that water was hot. You have some cold water, dog. You know what I'm saying? And then now you might want to mix the hot and the cold. Now, you know what I'm saying? And listen, you know what I'm saying? That's when now you have to learn to master. That's when you should allow your pain to create your reality. That's when you need to have the greater understanding. And then now also you understand what you call matter. Now the whole idea of being an alchemist, or to be a spiritualist, whatever the fuck you want to call it, it's to understand these things about you. The things that you're going through, this is you having a positive outlook on negative bullshit. It doesn't mean you don't acknowledge. You do acknowledge the bullshit, but you translate it by making it work for you. But I'm saying all of that to say, being emotionally balanced is it's not to raise your voice or to fake around. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't say certain words. You articulate. Congratulations, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But sorry to say, it got nothing to do with nothing. It sounds good. It's impressive, depending on who's listening. You know what I'm saying? But I would rather hear, exactly the content of what you're saying. Anyway, that's pretty much what it's like to be emotionally balanced. It's truly on you understanding your emotions, being in touch with your emotions, and again, and being involved in the whole transformation. Trust me, it is a whole lot. Now, in addition to that, now it's the same baseline understanding when it comes to you mastering your mental, or to become mentally balanced. Because now what you're doing by becoming mentally balanced is, again, you have to understand how your own mind works. Because now you would have to become conscious of it, conscious of what's taking place, conscious of how you're learning, how were you trained to think Because you becoming mentally balanced, it's you reclaiming your mind. And it's you becoming conscious of everything that has an impact on your mind. You know what I'm saying? And the goal is to, you to be in charge of your own mind. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, you can't be mentally balanced if you're a zombie, man. If you're following the crowd, if you're doing what everybody else is just doing, how do you become mentally balanced? I mean, that's insanity at its best. And even think about it. This is how insane this is. Because we were trained, let's just say, not to be who we are. I mean, it's crazy. This is your life. This is what you came here for. I mean, let's just say, what would be any other mission if this is your fucking life, you going through shit, and your life depends on you. Your life depends on the level of understanding that you have. Then now to give all that shit up to be a people pleaser? Oh, that's insanity as is at its fucking best, at its max. Especially what I eat don't make you shit. So you would want to see everything for your own fucking self. And as a spiritual healer, this is why we hold this wisdom as a mirror for a reflection for you to follow your own self. Do you get it? Am I, what the fuck? Like, am I, shit, am I not clear enough? Hey, I mean, shit. Like, I don't know how else to dumb it down, man. I really don't know. But that really has to do, no matter how much I dumb it down, it's that sight. And that's what I'm hoping that I'm able to give to you now. But anyway, it really comes down to, that's the shit in you have to acknowledge. Or maybe if you didn't see it before, but as I'm breaking it down this way, hopefully you have an aha, motherfucker. It doesn't have to be now. You could catch it later. It's all good. Don't be hard on yourself. But understand, and that's why wisdom too, you got to wake up to it. Oh, it's been all around you. It's nothing you didn't hear before. It was nothing that nobody else was not doing. But it matters until you see it for yourself. And that's why, listen, man, our ancestors the work is already done. Jesus already died for you if you're a Jesus fan. But all you got to do is say yes. How do you say yes? You waking up to it. You acknowledging it. That's all you got to do, baby. Do you see it now? Now, but I also want you guys to keep that in mind, because this is everything that I'm talking about here, as you see in the title, when we're talking about the embodiment, but most importantly, understanding, having a proper discernment, and that comes with also you increasing your vibration. You know what I'm saying? The higher you vibrate, the more that beholder, the more conscious it becomes. And some of the ways to actually enhance that is through you having to open up your third eye. That would be one way. But also knowledge is also doing it. But the type of knowledge that has to make flesh in you. In fact, that's what I'm going to be talking about, the nature of the information that, you know what I'm saying, as we embody it, but you have to take into consideration the nature of it, because you're part of your process. You're going to embody it anyway. That's why, if you want to change, you change your mentality. So there's a direct connection between what you doing in your daily life with your mind eye, which is your understanding. But anyway, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. But I want you to keep that in mind because it's all connected. In fact, that will be the baseline, for the conversation that we're gonna be having tonight. I mean, shit, I felt like I'm already having the conversation, but anyway, you kind of get the point here. So, and also that's why you have to be aware of your culture, because this is anything and everything that has a direct impact of your mental. You have to be aware of it for you to be mentally balanced. You have to understand how your culture works. That's why you have to understand. That's why Jesus, we understand the political fucking system. I mean, it is what it is. And the reason why us as spiritualists we're not involved, it's not because, and I could tell you this right now, for me personally, I mean, listen, it's not because we don't care about the world. It's not because we're saying fuck humanity. That's not what it is at all. In fact, we do embrace. I mean, this is our work. The only difference is we got to acknowledge a higher part of us, which is also part of this reality. And because we have adopted that and understand that, you know what I'm saying, that's why we're not part of it. But it's not like somehow, I mean, the part of it, the fact that we understand it, that's where we got our big dick from. So, but it's not necessarily out of, we're saying we got a big dick or we don't deal with this, God is greater. I mean, shit. Yes, but what we're truly talking about here is it's a deeper understanding of what you're seeing. And even if you want to talk about politics, it's not truly helping you any fucking way. You know what I'm saying? You have two different gangs that's arguing against each other. You know what I'm saying? It's the benefit of that. Like, there's nothing truly for you. The minute you chose to be a fucking Republican or you choose to be a Democrat, you automatically become one-sided. And the reason being is, well, think about it this way. I mean, you can't tell me there's no positivity in being a Democrat or there's no positivity in being a fucking Republican. They both have positivities. So why not embracing both? Do you see what I'm saying? And in the life that you're going through now, the reality is, you know what I'm saying, at times you may act like a fucking Republican, but there's going to be some situation where you may have to think this way. There's going to be other situation where you have to think that way. So why the fuck and how the fuck does it benefit me, even as a person, even to have a greater perspective, to be one-sided? So you're going in already, not even having the broader perspective. Yeah. What kind of game are you playing? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a lose-lose. It's a lose-lose. Do you see what I'm saying? And even in life, when you understand life, it's all about changes. Nothing remains the same, and nothing is ever the same. I'm an 80s baby, right? When you look at the 80s, you're looking at the 90s, or you're looking at the 2000s. I mean, you could say the 80s was a little bit closer to the 90s, or they were very similar, but different eras, bro. And they're only 10 years apart. And I'm not even talking about the 70s now. You roll into the 80s, and you could just look at the music itself. I mean, there's always gonna be some similar shit, but it's never gonna be the same. So I'm saying that to say, even in the law itself, it should constantly change. You know what I'm saying? But here's something else. What you have, what you call your institutions, they're not there to change. If you have a job, right? Like if you work at, I am an accountant, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Every company, for instance, they want to develop some sort of, let's just say, tradition or a system. So meaning, having the system, it's not the best, obviously, because it's not the best, but it's working. So at the end of the day, what you have, what you call your institutions. That's why you could still learn the same bullshit you were learning 20 years ago. Your kid's gonna learn it. You could say all you want about Christopher Columbus. Your kid's gonna learn it too. How about that for some change? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's why, hey, man, it's a lose lose. So again, this is, like, but you can't see it that way because you are in the middle of it. But anyway, I was saying all of that to say, for you to attain that highest level of consciousness, you know what I'm saying? Because it's becoming more conscious of you, your environment, your realities, just like I was able to address these things. And that's exactly what you saw Jesus did by addressing those shit. And just like he said, I'm going to say the same shit. Nigga, just pay your taxes. Because ultimately, that's all these niggas want. There's nothing else, bro. Nothing else. You know what I'm saying? If you don't get it, it's nothing else. It's broad daylight. Give me your money, nigga. That's what it is. That's what it is. And that, I mean, I don't even have to go deep. I mean, because I had my economic teacher, this nigga, now he was on point too. He was breaking that shit. I mean, again, it's like you don't even have to attain that highest level of consciousness. I mean, let's just say you don't have to become a spiritual healer. I'm saying that to say, if you don't see that, I don't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to say. But again, what this is reflecting, again, that's why you also have to understand and have the broader understanding even about your culture. You have to learn how to be an American without being a fucking American. And what that means is, okay, you were born here, there's nothing else you fucking do about it. But as far as having a mind limited to just American values, I'll leave that up to you. But for me, as a Haitian nigga, I'm Haitian, but I'm not Haitian, bro. You know what I'm saying? And there's so much other shit I need to explore and to experience. I mean, it's gonna be done the Haitian way, but nevertheless, that's what makes it Haitian and not being Haitian. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be my Haitian mind processing it, but it's not gonna be limited to what was given to me. No, sir. Why would I do that? Look around you. You see how big the universe is, bro? You know what I'm saying? But if you don't see, if you don't go that far, if you just live in the states, you see how many states are there in it? And not just that, how many people you met in life? From different walks of life, different culture. Like, it's again, I don't know, dog. So being mentally balanced, it's you being aware of all this shit. And that's what you got to become conscious of. How society is actually impacting you, how your government, political views, and all that shit And then now when you see all of it, and then that's, well, just by you seeing it already, it's already evolution for you too. You are transcending it. Just like anything, for you to have a greater understanding of whatever's in front of you, you have to go beyond it. That's what understanding is. Or understanding, however the fuck you want to look at it. But what this is implying, and one thing for sure here, is that you got to go beyond. You got to grasp the essence, the understanding of what that thing is. And if you understand that alone, this is why the Indian called this world, Earth, Maya, which means a world of illusion. Things are not what they appear to be. But for you to truly see things for what they are, you got to go beyond the veil. And that's what you do when you say, okay, you got to get to know somebody. It's to know who they are, their character, their state of, again, you see, you also acknowledging, you're also saying there is more to you than what you look like. And that's why spirituality is your fucking life. Us spiritualists now, we're just helping you to acknowledge these things. And for you to truly acknowledge it, you got to go beyond it. That's why now, then I gotta talk about the occult. Then now we're talking about, your dark side, the shit you don't see, your fucking subconscious mind, your shadow self. I mean, yeah. Again, those are having an understanding of your ordinary life. The life you're already going through now, and that's what makes it, this is the mystery of all mysteries. And that's how I'm trying to get your ass to wake up! Bitch, wake up! Do you get it? I hope you do. But anyway, just go along. My niggas, if you coming back, you already know, baby, stop playing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Listen, what you see is exactly what it is. We're breaking bread. We're elevating each other. This is love. This is us. Listen, let's make this our safe space for us to come through and elevate. You know what I'm saying? And like this is the food that you need. And you gotta have it, baby. You know what I'm saying? And as your spiritual healer, I'm here to help you with that. And that's what makes it a fucking honor for me. It's rewarding in itself to have that opportunity to open up your eye, baby. Go in peace, nigga. Go in peace. You know what I'm saying? Peace unto you, motherfucker. That's what the shit is. That's what the fuck the shit is. Now, you already know. Welcome back. Nothing but love. Now, as part of my routine, guys, especially if this is your first time, or if you're coming back, you already know, I always take a minute. Again, I already talk about spirituality. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let me just emphasize on a couple of things real quick. So as part of my routine, I always take the time to talk about spirituality, right? Why? Because as a spiritual healer, spirituality is the foundation, is the thing that I use as my reference, to explain or to help you see certain shit in you. You know what I'm saying? So I use us to reflect us, to us. But anyway, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So if you were following all along, right before I even start talking or telling you that, I'm going to describe what spirituality is, essentially I was already doing it. And what spirituality is your essence. Because us, as human beings, right, So when we delve into us, we're delving into ourselves, trying to understand who we are or our nature, where we came from, and all of that shit. As you delving into yourself, then you realize that you are not what you just appear to be. Okay, you have the animals, they do what they do, but when it comes to us, we have the ability to reflect. We have reasons, we have emotions. Not to say the animals do not, but ultimately, we have the power over them. Because regardless of how strong a lion or elephant is, we are still the one, I mean, ruling shit. You know what I'm saying? Do you? It's not like you and I. We had. I mean, yes. Can a fucking elephant or lion kill us? Yes. But nevertheless, we know what to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the whole idea of us, of God giving us, the power to rule the world. I want you. You have to see it. You got to experience it. So again, I'm trying to help you to get to the nature of the information that you're getting, so that way it makes sense to you, or you making it make sense. Because ultimately, it's all about you. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. So going back to spirituality, so what we're doing is truly, learning about our essence from our state of mind, the way we see things, the way we talk about things, the way we interact with things, the way we got to change our lives. I mean, then you realize your life is based on what you know. That's what makes you a living mind. And as the Kabbalion calls it, spirit. That's why you could say I am energy. I mean, it's a combination of all of it, because there's intelligence in energy. Just like when we were talking about your fucking emotions, well, there's intelligence in it. The message, energy is always wisdom. I mean, that's why the all-knowing is that this is who we are, or part of it, but it's all around us. What you call in the electromagnetic field, there's intelligence all in it, all around it, surrounded it. You might have to let that sink in for a second. But anyway, so now, it really comes down to us, because spirituality is telling the story of the spirits. Then now, a part of spirituality, now you're dealing with what we call the understanding of it, which is what it's also called as the occult or the esoteric knowledge. Now, those esoteric knowledge or those sacred texts, when we talk about your subconscious mind, your third eye, your shadow work, and all that good shit, it's simply the type of knowledge that helps you to have a deeper understanding of your ordinary bullshit. It helps you. That's why this type of knowledge it's you gotta go in. Esoteric. It's not displayed. You have to go through shit. And within that knowledge, we're helping you to acknowledge those dark side of you. That's why some of the basic understanding of fucking occult would be, nigga, you have a subconscious mind and then you have a conscious mind. So that type of knowledge is helping you to acknowledge for you to have that deeper understanding of you, it helps you it brings light to that other side of you. It's helping you to go into the darkness. That's why out of the darkness comes the light. Because if you don't step into the darkness, you wouldn't know you have a subconscious mind, nigga. And as part of that, they're shedding light into the dark. Then I could talk about your chakras. I can talk about your emotions. I could talk about so many different things that you don't necessarily see physically, But that is part of all of us, whether you acknowledge it or not. And obviously, the people who acknowledge it, those are what we call, that's where I come in. Those are, I mean, not just acknowledge it, but who has attained that highest level of consciousness. We that's the path we have to go through. To be born again, what that means, it's now that we have acknowledged that spiritual side of us, not just the physical part. Whereas in the past, you only saw life from a dick and pussy perspective. You're not feeding your mind, you're looking to fit in, all of that bullshit from just the physical perspective. But when you start going in, it's different. Now, when you start going inside, now you're gonna start traveling. You automatically becomes on the road less traveled, and it's less traveled because it's you following you. That's why they tell you, if in your path, if there's a trailblazer in front of you, that's not your path. I mean, that's not your path. Because your path is your fucking history. You gotta, people gotta see it as you walking through it. Oh man, this is for the great listeners, man. So again, it's just becoming more conscious of your fucking of who you are. That's why in the occult we say, knowing thyself will set you free. Free from the fucking illusion, the bondage, the material bullshit that, I'm not saying bullshit in the sense of trying to minimize it, but the bullshit in terms of how everybody else is looking at it, for you to see it for what it is. And when you do, matters doesn't even matter at that point. It's like, that's like, when I know who you are, it doesn't matter, which lipstick you choose to put on. That's why they tell you a pig, no matter how you dress a pig's gonna be a pig. But you can only say a pig when you know what a pig is. So when we know the truth, and as a truth seer and a truth speaker, you can only lie to yourself. Okay. Be strong, dog. Keep going. You never know. You might get me. Yo, you couldn't get me even when I was sleeping, nigga. Listen, and literally, and I mean that too. I'm not even, trying to flex. Some people could see me when I was sleeping. I beat you in my shadow, nigga. How stupid is that? How stupid are you? Yo, it's like, man, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? How you let somebody, I'm not even looking and I'm whooping your ass. How the fuck? You let that happen? They're like, are you even looking? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Man, listen, man. It's unfucking believable. I tell you, you wouldn't believe me. That's why I have to let it speak for itself. So when that whole thing comes out, you'll get to see it for yourself. It's like, it's insane, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that is just to tell you, you know what I'm saying, about how good looking I am, baby. Find your beauty. But anyway, going back to spirituality, it's your regular life. Then now you have the occult, that is, those manuals, those sacred texts. Again, that has the purpose to help you to shed light on your dark side. And then you'll see every single one of, I mean, they would say the similar shit, like the hermetic, it's always something sealed. Then you'll see fucking what else? There's another one. Or even you talking about the Gnostics, I think that means knowing going in. But there's always the bottom line, because I get it. What they're truly telling you is the type of knowledge you got to go inside. Meaning, yes, you see the outside, but to truly have an understanding of what's going on the outside, you got to go in. And even going back to our own nature, right? So my son, he's 5, standing next to me. The way he looks at life, it's not the way I look at life. But we share the same space. Again, showing you my experiences matters. And as my knowledge, my intelligence change the reality of what we are both experiencing. And this nigga's right next to me. So again, I mean, to know our essence, spirituality is you. So the biggest misconception about spirituality is out of ignorance. It's people knowing, like, and most people would say, damn, spiritual. It's almost like, when you look at spirituality, it's a nigga that has those towels that wrap their ass around their ass and shit. Now, granted, I'm not saying anything against that. They choose whatever the fuck they choose to do. And just so you guys understand too, that level of spirituality comes, I mean, the way you see them doing whatever the fuck they doing comes with a level of acceptance. It comes with a level of them knowing who they are, so they chose to be that way. But that's not what makes you spiritual. Because you're already that. Now, whichever way you choose to express that, that's when these motherfuckers like now, or you see the monks, they do whatever the fuck. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not disrespecting that, but I want you to understand. You know what I'm saying? It has not. That is your essence. But out of ignorance, most people would see, oh, that's what that is. So meaning they don't see how that relates to their own fucking life. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Anyway. So, make a long story short, spirituality is you. The biggest misconception is, and then you have religious too. But I'm not going to talk too much about that. Just wanted to give you a summary or a greater understanding of what we mean when we're talking about spirituality, right? So it's your regular life, but most importantly, I wanted you to be able to understand, what I mean by spirituality, but most importantly, why I'm saying the shit that I'm saying and where I got it from. Pretty much. Where I got it from in terms of sources, it's not just one source. It cannot be one source. There's voodoo in it, there's Buddhism in it, there's the Bible, Christianity in it, because ultimately I I see the bigger picture, so I can relate to all of it. I can make all of it make sense. Muhammad, Krishna, Hinduism, like all of that shit. Because once you get the big picture, then you understand that's what they're all doing. The Chinese, the Tao, the Tao. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but you know what I'm saying. Those Confucius ass niggas, all of these motherfuckers. I mean, I don't see them not talking about who they are. So ultimately, whichever sector you choose to, I mean, it doesn't matter once you see the bigger picture. But I would also strongly recommend you embrace all of them, because they will add a little something that may not have, and at the end of the day, you will be completed. You know what I'm saying? You'll see the full picture. Why the fuck not? But anyway, spirituality is just your regular life, dog. Now, what we want to talk about tonight, or what we're going to be talking about tonight, right? So we're talking about embodiment I mean, embodiment, you know what I'm saying, but also the nature, you know, of the information that you are processing. That's very important for you to understand. Now, going back to the embodiment, right? What we're talking about here in our nature, as part of your nature, you only do the things that you see or the things that you relate to. Meaning that's why we all know if your kids kids will reproduce what they saw their I mean, this is a fact. Regardless of what you tell them, it's what you do that's gonna matter. I think there's a name for it too. Astro some shit. Those are facts, man. Again, science, whatever the fuck you wanna say it all comes down to that. That's why for me, if you keep that in mind, I want you to keep that in mind. That's why I always tell people there's no benefit in talking about Jesus. Because to talk about him without acting like him, and for you to act like him, you gotta, just like you see your parents, you gotta see Jesus that way. You know what I'm saying? If I'm saying Muhammad Ali is my fucking, it's my idol, then you would see me doing some of the things that he does. If I'm a boxer, I mean, I may not do exactly what he does, but his boxing influence, I would definitely have that. You see what I'm saying? You see that in the people that says Mike Tyson was their fucking idol. You know what I'm saying? They would have, you know what I'm saying? Regardless. So the bottom line is, as part of you, you know, you embody everything you see. That is your nature, period. That's why you'll see, you know, when people start, you know, creating new trends, then other people start to follow, or they create other trend too. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I mean, what I'm really saying here, what I'm even trying to say, is that, I mean, that's why I don't understand, you know, the whole political bullshit of us devaluing ourselves. There's no practical benefit. Like, it doesn't exist. There's nothing you could do without you. Now, if you want to sound good, you say God did it through you. Well, you motherfucker. So, I mean, there's a you factor in it, and you cannot take that away. No matter how big your God is. And no matter how little you are, you see that little shit, or let's just say that piece of shit that you are, God means nothing without you. And you don't have to believe me. If you're a Christian, Muhammad means nothing to you. Buddha means nothing to you. At this point, you can fight yourself if you like. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that's why you are the creator of your life, whether you acknowledge it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so a lot of people nowadays are talking about narcissists, right? Do you notice? No matter how much they choose not to acknowledge what their reality is, they still create it. I mean, they are still at the base of that fucking creation. A hater will hate on you, but that's because of their mentality. Meanwhile, you got the same 24 hours that this motherfucker got. He's blaming everything on something else on you, whereas you, what you're doing is you working on you. So by him putting all of that on you, he's destructing or she's destructing themselves, but yet they don't even see it. You see what I'm saying? So regardless on how you want to put it. So if you can acknowledge that, if you, because a lot of people, are talking about narcissistic now, narcissists and all that shit. Well, if that's what you're talking about, so that alone should show you that you may choose not to be responsible for your action, but one way or another, listen, man, you're not gonna plant tomato and you're gonna get avocado. It's not gonna happen. And no matter how much shit you talk, that's why they tell you the truth. It will always reveal itself in a matter of time. They always tell people that. Like, you may think you're getting away with some shit, like some bullshit you've been doing for years. And then just when you think you're about to go in your grave with it, and then, nigga. In Haiti, we have this thing we say, like lies. It's always running around. Running. And then one day, he knows how to run. But he doesn't know how to hide. When you're deceiving yourself, you running, but you don't know how to hide. And it may take years. You think you got it going on. I'm the shit. I'm lying to people. I'm fucking people up. Sooner or later, man, every bottle has their own lid. You're going to find that lid that is perfect. That is made, to a fucking perfection. You're going to find the size of your coffin. I heard you've been shopping around for death. Don't worry, you're going to find it. I got the right size for you. Look again, baby. It ain't here. I can't fake the funk even if I wanted to. But since that's what you've been shopping for, don't worry. Perfect size, baby. It's you. And only you. And everybody else on that same predicament, I got all their sizes. Don't worry. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry. You know what I'm saying? You, your husband, mom, aunt, mommy. Your size is right there, baby. Don't worry about it. Now, going back to the subject at hand. Now, this is your first time here, guys. As part of this whole process here, it's listen, it's just a show, baby. Enjoy the ride. You know what I'm saying? That was just a small commercial break. Now we're going back to the conversation at hand, right? Check this out, right? So now, that's why for us, anything you can see, you can be. And if you understand that too, that's why television plays a big part in us. Because, and that's why I always tell people, when you understand how we embody shit, because that's part of our nature, that's why when mythology plays a big part in us. Our ancestors, in other words, they tell us a story about the creation. And the Buddhists, they also understand that too. They understand a direct connection between telling you a story, and that's why a lot of these motherfuckers, they would have story to tell you. If there's a lesson, is there something they want you to truly get, they will say it to you in the form of a story. So mythology is really what molds your mind, and we understand that, and that's why we created that to set us free. But now this is where your colonizers comes in. They understand that work, and now that's why they use Christianity now to put you in slavery. Oh, this shit's deep. When you know, you know. Listen, if you know anything about William Lynch letter, well, it's all mental. And if you understand yourself as being a living mind, well, this is the story. This is the survival story. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that's your survival story that will help you to set your mind free. But most importantly, you understand the embodiment of your spirit, what you do. You know, that's why television, shaped us a certain way. And everything that you see, you become that. These are facts. That's why you see a lot of people, they talk about Jesus, but they're not about Jesus. But at the same time, they are reflecting a Jesus that is being, listen, you'll see a lot of the Christian motherfuckers, like, they don't see themselves relating to Jesus. Well, they may say, he came on earth, but if you don't have a direct connection with him, that's why you'll never act like him. So you talk about him, but you're also talking about him even in the nature of the information that is given out to you. It's for you to talk about it. It's not for you to be it. And that's why you have to be careful of the nature of the information that you're processing. It's not the information you should worry about. It's the quality of the information. And that's what the nature is. The one we're talking about, the nature of the information. In other words, you don't want to, and that's why the words got to be made flesh. Again, it's all making sense. And if you understand that, our nature in itself, the word's going to be made flesh. That's why people who have knowledge become wise. That's how they do it. There's no secret to it. That's how they did it. They did it that's why the knowledge will transform you. You being born again, that's why we call it a journey. Like, there's a reason why we call it a journey. Because you're going through it. It's a path. It's a transformation. It's a healing process. It's a transformation. I like that better. That sounded better. Because as you taking on that knowledge, you are also transforming. That's how the old is no longer it no longer exists. Now you become the Christ. My niggas. My niggas. In Denzel voice. My niggas. This is for you. But see, again, just by understanding what I'm saying to you in the way that I'm providing that information to you, it's already transformative in itself. Well, that's where the quality comes in too. Listen, I'm a bad motherfucker, dog. That's why I'm here, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm doing this job, all right? I'm doing this job for a reason. but I also had to become that too. So understanding the nature or the quality of the information that's being given to you, that's when now your level of discernment, which is you, the beholder, this is where you get to discern. This is where now you have to elevate your vibration so and connect with your inner self to see beyond the veil, to see beyond what is being presented to you. You see, there's no need for you to fight it. You just gotta know the truth, bro. Alright. If you're gonna fight it, you're not doing it right. Because the minute you know what it is, there's no fight. Because there's no reason to fight anything. Understand? Do you get it? Now, if anything, now your fight is gonna be to maintain what you already saw. Or the truth that you're living. I mean, for me, that's what I had to encounter. Or I mean, that's when you're gonna have to carry that cross, baby. That's what it comes with. You know what I'm saying? With that decision, with that path, hey man, that's what comes with it. But don't worry, dog. You'll be good. I'm good, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I literally had to go, you know what I'm saying, all the way down there. You know what I'm saying? Even in my situation, the way I was brought up and my environment, being raised in a family that, what people are calling the black sheep, or me being the Cinderella of that family, or because of your beauty, you attract. I mean, I was raised by fucking criminals, man. And literally, I mean that literally too. You know what I'm saying? Literal criminals. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes my whole life was a fucking lie. The only lie that wasn't the lie was just me. So that's why for me, again, I always talk about being, or having a positive outlook. Because that reality was just, it was incredible for me. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I was able to use what you call pain to transform that. So when they were throwing rocks at me, anything they do, like it was my comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because the woman I was raised with, right? Oh man, when you want to talk about abuse, trying to create blockages into your life and then smiling in your face, that's what she was doing. Out of jealousy, fucking up my own life. And meanwhile, I was innocent. I didn't see that's what she was doing, but I knew, you know what, it's better for me. Even the people, let's just say, and I'm gonna use my baby mother for a fucking example, right? I mean, it was the people that I didn't want that got with her. You know what I'm saying? And those were the people, not just I didn't want, it was the people that I know that was not good people. So it's not like she fucked my life up in a sense. I was with a good bitch and then I was not with her. You know what I'm saying? So anything they did was for me. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way a good bitch would have associated with her to begin with, and she knows that too. So even though it's like this shit is crazy, this is how stupid this bitch is. Because the people you were moving, like she was serving me, but she didn't know it. But that's where I would advise to you guys too. You gotta have that positive outlook on shit. That's when, you know what I'm saying, I know for me, that's why I never look back. Yo, listen, there's nobody that I no longer in my life that I ever went back to. And I'm always happy, and I'll tell you why. Because no matter, they always prove me right too. They always prove me right. I mean, let's just say if I was with somebody and I'm no longer with you, right? For me to feel bad, or for me to somehow, think about you or regret losing you, you would have to become better than the way I met you. You know what I'm saying? But if you got worse than the way I met you, nigga, for me, it's like, that's why there's no way, like, it was all a blessing. You know what I'm saying? And their action always shows it too. So for me, that's what I'm saying. Like, I never cried over spilled milk. It's spilled milk, bro. You cannot drink it. And just like I was saying, even if I had the slightest thought, which I never did, because I saw them for who they were. But let's just say, even if I had the slightest thought, their action will bring me right back to everything I believed, everything I saw. So they always prove me right. I'm telling you, hey, listen, man. That's why I love my haters. You know what I'm saying? You never seen people who's hating on you, want you to hate them? But I can't, because they're making me better. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's not like what you're doing is hurting me. What would I hate you for? You know? Whatever they do to me, shit. Look at your life. I have no reason. Not one, not the slightest one. Do you see what I'm saying? But you have to learn how to see it that way. You know, pain is good. Suffering is optional. So a lot of you suffer because you don't see the benefit in the pain. I know if you're trying to get swole, you're gonna go to the bank. To them. I'm saying to the bank. We're getting swole anyway. That was for me. Game over, bitches. And whatever you guys didn't want to see, oh, that's what you're gonna see, baby. I don't know what you're gonna do. This cannot be stopped and will not be stopped. Anyway, what the fuck was I talking about? All right, so going back to right. So what the fuck was I talking about? You know, so yeah. There you go. So now we're gonna go back to you, the beholder, because that's what you want to be focused on. You know what I'm saying? That beholder, you are the target, and the target is you. That's why we say the aim and the target is the same. That's that alignment you always got to be in. That's what we call transcendence. That's ma'at. This is the balance. That's the harmony. It goes by many different names. But to transcend matter, now at this point, now when I get to see you for who you are, yes, I know you have a body. Yes, I know what you look like. But that no matters. No longer matters. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you know a bitch is a bitch, no matter how good you trying to look, how swole you trying, yeah, that nigga's a bitch. yeah, he's a bitch. That's truly what it means to transcend matter. Not to suppress it, Not to say, you know what I'm saying, fuck humanity or, you know what I'm saying, this and that. No, 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 no. Mm-mm, mm-mm. And the same thing applies in you being in alignment with you. If your dick get hard, it's part of having a human vessel. Your flesh is not weak, nigga. Not at all. It does what it's supposed. It's a sexual attraction, masculine, feminine. I mean, with what you call the temptations. Well, again, it's the flesh that comes with it. Now that's when you have to regularize it or to balance it. That's where you come in. Not because it's weak. It does what it does. And now, body, I want you to be in alignment, nigga. I know you hard right now, but that ass, you don't want that. So, girl, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have a hard on and look at you from afar. Like, well, that was something, wasn't it? Get the fuck out of here. You have to put up with yourself. You know what I'm saying? And as you're doing so, guess what? The body is following you now. A strong mind, a strong body. You don't have to suppress your emotions, your natural shit, for you to have control over yourself. When you go that route, it's gonna be the most difficult one, but most importantly, it's gonna be a struggle because you're not in harmony. When you're doing your shadow work, part of your shadow work is to acknowledge your early feelings. You were raped, that's why people would tell you, you would admit that. Hey, listen, man, rape happens to people. I mean, I'm not trying to minimize, not to say it's, I know how sensitive it is, but you gotta put it, you gotta find it where it's no longer sensitive. Because that sensitivity that we're talking about, it's really the pain. I mean, I'm not telling you not to acknowledge the pain. I'm not saying none of that shit. What I'm saying, at some point, I mean, I don't know, it may take you a little bit longer. You're gonna have to you gotta laugh that shit out, man. It was what it was, dog. And guess what? Look around you, look at the stats. You're not the only bitch. Or you're not the only nigga. Whatever the fuck. Now, what I'm saying is, it's not for you to not acknowledge your fucking situation. I'm not being insensitive by no. It's none of that shit. But it's just having a deeper understanding of it. Yes, these things happen. Yes, it's hurt you. Yes, yes. All that shit. Yes. Then what else? What are we doing? What are you looking to do? What do you want to do? You got to laugh it out, baby. But as you're doing that, that would be the first acknowledgement, okay? And then the next step now, how does that, because of this asshole, I became an asshole. You know, then you got to say to yourself, how did I become an asshole because of this asshole? And that's what you pretty much have to undo. Like, fuck you, nigga, that was your action. That shit got nothing to do with me. Now, what you did to me, yes, you abused my rights. It was abusive, but I'm gaining my powers back. That's your shadow work, dog. That's the internal work. This is you dealing with your inner self, your inner child. This is you healing the wounded child. And of course, your reason is going to be different, but all of that comes with a proper understanding of that beholder, though. So you have your nature, which is embodying shit, but the nature, which is embodying it as part of your nature, but the beholder, the target, that observer, that's that's also who you need to address, but you also got to maintain, make sure the information that is being presented to that observer, that's what you have to process. That's what you have to really, you know what I'm saying? That's what you're gonna have to get in. Like that's what discernment is. It's being presented, and that's when you gotta sharpen up your tools, which is that observer, that beholder. Because guess what, man? Once that beholder finds his beauty, the embodiment, everything around you become beautiful. Like I tell people, like if you want to tell me about kids who are not eating or shit that's happening in Haiti, people are dying. Listen, I'm very sensitive to it. But at the same time, maybe I shouldn't say but. However, yeah, there's that reality. But are you only looking at reality from that perspective? And I could tell you right now, if you the only reason why you would even think about that's because your reality is only that's what your reality level of vibration is just the surface level. Isn't it not surface? Isn't it not the outside? And how do you acknowledge or refuse to acknowledge other aspect of life? That's all I'm saying. When Jesus said, "Let the dead bury the dead," that didn't mean fuck these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Your Jesus said that shit, nigga. Let the dead bury the dead. Like I can't recall what it was. I can't recall, but it wasn't just the dead. It was just other people that needed to be served or whatever the fuck. In, literally speaking, Jesus said, "Fuck these niggas." You know what I'm saying? If I'm being fair, come on, let's be honest about it. Fuck these niggas. That's what he said. Let these motherfuckers kill themselves. But again, this is not out of being inconsiderate, but it's also because you understand this is where having a deeper understanding of this reality comes into play. How do you know? And here's something else too, and I'll give you a perfect example because I have experienced that, and I'm going through that process now. You know how sometimes people always want to help people who, let's just say, who became poor, right? Who are on the streets and things like that. I'm not telling you not to help. I'm not telling you to help. Follow your heart. But what I'm trying to tell you is, this is the reality. Sometimes you don't know what that person did for them to be there. And what I'm going through is, or what I'm trying to let you know, I see some people going through poverty, and that's what the shit's gonna be. Because they wanted poverty for other people. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's a whole bunch of that shit. Again, you looking at reality from just the surface, not knowing what else is taking place. Now, I'm not saying there's a burden on Haitian niggas or in Africa kids are not eating. They may well be too. Or it could also be all part of the prophecy too. See, it's how do you look at it? But what I could tell you for a fact, it's more than what it appears to be. That I know. So going back to the whole poverty shit, yeah, man, there's a bunch of these motherfuckers. You don't know what they did. Or people like witchcraft, a lot of shit they do to other people, trying to hurt other people. Now they hurting themselves. Finding the right one though. Because they have hurt. Listen, I know people who have hurt other people. They have successfully done it for years. So that's why for them, they could do it to just anybody. Doesn't matter. Well, in Haiti, we say this shit, man. They are morning get morning. Meaning, behind a mountain, there's another mountain. And sometimes, depending on how big this mountain is, you may not see the other mountain behind it. Well, those were them niggas. You know what I'm saying? They come in and out however they want. You know what I'm saying? They're entitled to everybody. Fuck you, nigga. It's my shit. Yo, the mother of the person I was raised with, granted, we're talking about life. Now, this bitch didn't even handle her own life. And this is the shit too. People who's not taking care of who they are, they're the ones. They're the ones. They always worry about other people's shit. And again, when you worry about yourself, you ain't got time for nobody else. That's just the way it goes, man. We have this song in Haiti, man. Jocelyn, little Jocelyn. Niggas. Story time, niggas. Now, little Jocelyn, you know, she never cleaned up her house. But she saw everything else that the neighbors were doing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, a story like that is meant to awaken you, to help you to become awake. They're all talking to little Jocelyn, why don't you go clean up your own house? Because if you were in your house, you wouldn't have time to see what's going on with the neighbors. Do you see what I'm saying? And in the meantime, let's just say you had already cleaned your house. Well, if you know like anything, like I know, to clean anything, you got to maintain that cleanliness. So even when my house is clean, I don't have time for no neighbors because I got to make sure it stays clean. That means I have to go back into my house, lift the shit up. Okay, just wipe it down for a second. Because after maybe a day or two, you know how, you know. Do you see what I'm saying? So, little Jocelyn, go clean up your own house, baby. Don't worry about other people's bullshit. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it, Jocelyn. It's not gonna do anything for you. Like, when you see somebody else's dirty house, does that clean your house? Jocelyn, I'm asking you. When you see somebody else's dirties, clothes, and all that, does that make your house clean? It doesn't. What makes your house clean is you cleaning your own house. You know what I'm saying, little Jocelyn? All right, guys. It's almost 2 hours. Let's summarize what we're saying here. So I'm talking about the embodiment, but most importantly, the nature, for you to understand the nature of the information that is being presented to you. Now, when we talk about Christianity, you will see a lot of these motherfuckers, first of all, they don't have a direct connection with God. It's all premeditated. The way they look at God, it's like, first of all, God is above them. And I'm also trying to let you know, as part of your nature, when God is above you, that means it's not within your, how do you manifest that? It's almost like you making it out of reach, and that's what it is. You know, especially when you're looking at, when we talk about, it's almost like religion. it's almost like a promise. Everything they're doing, they're saying to you, it's almost like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying, in the future. Well, if anything you're gonna get is in the future, that means you'll never have anything right now. Understand. That's why when you do your affirmation, you say for it to happen now. Now, the now doesn't mean it's going to happen right now, but the now means that for it to take place, you are manifesting it. Do you understand? That's why you got to speak in the power of now. Now, the now, again, like I said, I want you to grasp this. Doesn't mean like it's right the second. But what it means is it's somewhere along the line in this lifetime, nigga. Right here, right now. You get it? That's why you gotta claim you gotta become abundant. So whenever you're not seeking for the kingdom of God, you wasting your time. That's why, like, for me, I don't even talk about the power of manifestation because there's no power in it until you seek God. You know, you guys are looking for shortcuts. There's no fucking shortcut, nigga. And you forever, and I like to see how people, they're going to teach you. There's no teaching you about law of manifestation. The only teaching is for you to change. It's for you to become that. Seek the kingdom of God. You want to learn about the fucking law of fucking manifestation? You're already manifesting, bitch. You're already manifesting. Everybody is. You don't have an issue with the power of manifestation. That's why I laugh when I see people like, you're going to teach people how, nigga? They're already doing it. Now your problem is, this is what your problem is. Your true problem now is that you thinking the old way and then you want to do something new. Everybody want changes, but they don't want to change. You got to be the change that you're looking for. That's why you attract who you are. What the fuck do you think a bitch like Beyonce or Jay-Z, all these niggas did? That's manifestation, nigga. I mean, you mean to tell me a motherfucker from the ghetto into a motherfucking $1 billion house, it's not manifestation? Like, if that's not, what the fuck is manifestation then? But all of it comes with this nigga knew what he loved. It comes with all that. Seek the kingdom of God. And that's why this nigga now, you could see this nigga growing his motherfucking hair. That's the divine feminine developing in him. I could see that shit all day, every day, nigga. You see what I'm again? What the fuck? What the fuck? Do you see what I'm saying? I hope you do. I hope you can. So, them talking about Jesus and not having a direct connection with Jesus. So there's no transformation. But all of that, the non-transformation that's taking place is taking place because on how they are processing the information. Do you see what I'm saying? Whereas you'll see the difference. If you're saying Tupac is your hero, you have that nigga, poster in your fucking room, Then you know his songs. You're trying to act like him. Maybe you know what I'm saying. Whatever the fuck. I mean, I've never been a fan of no motherfucker that way. Besides Jesus. In fact, I lied. I lied. Oh shit, nigga. I was a big Michael Jackson fan, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Doing the moonwalk and all that shit. Nigga, listen. But again, that nigga was part of my life. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. There's no way you're gonna act like Christ, and if you don't see Christ as part of your life, it would be impossible for you. It would be out of your reach, and that's exactly what's taking place. And that's the information that's being presented to them, and that's why all they do is talk about Christ, and that's what they will forever do, because the manual that's being given to them, the nature of that information, is not how they relate to Jesus, but it's to pray to Jesus, know the differences, and now, if you're good enough, you will attain, you know what I'm saying, there will be something for you in the future. And then now you're walking around saying in Christ, you know for a fact. You know. What the fuck do you know, nigga? Oh, you know exactly where you gonna go? Hey, okay, that's fine. But I gotta tell you, man, that's the greatest okie. Like, I talk to ancestors. Like, those are shit you could experience right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know about all that. But, you know what I'm saying? The Mexicans have the Day of the Deads. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you heard story. And guess what, too? If you have a dream, you saw an angel, the angel was not in physical form. I mean, in your dream, maybe it was, but you didn't see it in this life. So, in so we're not saying anything different here. We're just having a different understanding. You know what I'm saying? And yours is limited because you don't see it as part of your life. Whereas for me, this is my life. Because it is this actual reality that you what you're calling paranormal experiences are taking place. Well, I mean, that's why there's different planes in this reality. That's why the reality that you're living in, you can't take it for granted. Because it's not what it looks like. That's why you are the mystery of all fucking mysteries, baby. Do you see what I'm saying? So because you don't have that type of understanding, you cannot see the now. And the whole idea of us doing your affirmation and that was a jewel. Whoever got to listen to that. When you act the now for you to understand, it doesn't mean you automatically have it. What you're doing is we are materializing it. That's why you better know that you a fucking God, nigga. You better know that you fucking Jesus. And that's what Jesus was showing you. And that's the cross you gotta carry yourself. Taking accountability for your actions. You being the creator. Now, God at this point becomes you exploring a higher level of you. Let me say that again. Damn, I gotta get some more smoke, nigga. Because I'm all for the smokes. Let me just close it out this way. That's why men need God and God needs men. And then God now is a deeper, it goes beyond you. And it does. It fucking does. Because that's you now exploring a whole other aspect of you. That's why the Father is in the Son, so is the Son in the Father. Meaning, when you start to delve into your essence, you could reflect to nature. You could see the beauty in nature. You could see those lessons that nature is teaching us. Well, that's you expanding your consciousness. This is now at this point you have gone beyond this physical body. Now the universe and nature became your body. And that's why for me, when I understand what it's like for me to when I say I'm cosmic. Because now the universe becomes my body. And that is due to the connection that I have. So that's when you understand body, I don't want to fuck you up too much, but body, it contains things. And that's what your body does. It contains your spirit. Nigga, listen, I gotta get some more smoke. Listen, there's a lot more where that came from. There's a lot more to talk about, and that's the reward for me. That's the pleasure to share it. But most importantly, you know what I'm saying? It's for you, motherfuckers. Now, with all of that being said, always remember, like I always tell people, if you think money is everything, then you'll do everything for money. Do you see how your mind works? You know, how you see things infect you? And the people who do not see money as everything because they see people's feeling. That's what we say to love yourself. When you love yourself, you see those N-word or these divine qualities in you. And that's what allows you now to look for that in other people. And when you're doing that, their money doesn't matter. And the truth is, I mean, I'm not saying fuck money, but money's always secondary. Always. Even the people who believe money is everything, money's always secondary too. That's why they go to jail. They only get that lesson when they go to prison. You know, because now, I mean, because you got to do bad shit for it. I mean, you can't get money just by making money. I mean, it doesn't work that way, bro. If it does, let me know. And if you're gonna use money to make money, then guess what? Even that, you know, I mean, you investing. How is that shit working? What are you using your money to put into that is working? That's gonna give you more money. So even money can't even make money. Because it's what you're using to invest the money in. It's not prolific. It's not doing what it's supposed to. Well, that money you use to make more money, it's going to be a different scenario. I mean, I don't know, man. It seems like for a few people, every time I come here, I got to give you bad news. Either I look too good, either I talk too good, or I sound too good. You know what I'm saying? You do. Oh, my gosh. And y'all got to let me know, man. Yo, I didn't have to use that light tonight. And, you know, I had to turn it on now, but it was looking so good earlier. And it's just insane because, you know, I got me some new equipment. Oh, niggas, yo, I'm gearing up for you guys. Just when you think you don't see me for a few days, don't worry, baby. Listen, listen. There's gonna be a whole lot coming up. You know what I'm saying? Always finding a way to make it better, but most importantly, I mean, shit, seeing the light now. Hold up. Let's do this. Okay. Maybe I could have used it earlier, but I still think. I mean, shit, it still looked good. Get your equipments right. Get your money right. You already know, man. Love is love. Going back to what we were saying, and again, man, and just so you remember, to be you, nobody else could be around. You feel me? Nobody else could be around, man. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be on that stage performing, you cannot even see the crowd. I mean, you're gonna see it just to see it, but you gotta get in your element. Do you see what I'm saying? What else do you guys want from me? I'm giving you my best. What do you want from me? Please let me know. And always remember too, man, the remedy of the pain is in the pain. You know what I'm saying? And money is just a good bitch, but you never ever make it your master. I shan't. Male, nothing but love, baby.